Hey everyone, this is Sunny Justice from It's a Crime and Shame. So before we get started, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. We deal with cases of unsolved, the missing, and obviously heinous crimes that are going on around the world. But in particular, we deal a lot with Delphi and the Idaho 4, and as well try to bring other cases to your attention and awareness as well. That's why it's always important to share videos when you can, just to bring awareness. The more that it's out there, the more that we can try to help and bring awareness to others. Okay, so let's get into it. So I wake up this morning and I see this video from the Drunk Turkey show, and it says breaking new details leaked, source close to DM come forward with audio. So okay, so I think, Daniel, you got me hooked, dude. Okay, so I'm watching the video, listening to it, and basically he's saying that News Nation has come out with this source, which is Dylan's friend, which is a good friend of Dylan's, a female friend. Well, it's a female friend's boyfriend. So make that clear as we're talking about it through this video, okay? So this was finally something that made sense to me. And of course, I'm going to put the link for the Drunk Turkey show, of course, in the description again of this video. So I want you guys to go listen to it yourself. Get Daniel's intake on it as well. Remember, Daniel, former LE for 5 years. And so listening to his intake and, of course, your own decisions and conclusions, because I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section after you listen to what I'm about to say and after you listen to the Drunk Turkey show. Okay, so finally, Grammy always said, if it doesn't sound right to the ear, it's because something is off. And finally, I feel like what this boyfriend of Dylan's friend's boyfriend is saying, finally, to me, makes sense. So basically, the boyfriend is saying, look, what is said in the affidavit is not fully accurate, that it's almost like that they had thrown her underneath the bus, meaning Dylan, by putting her in the affidavit and then making it seem like she was in a froze state, that she, and people are claiming that she has PTSD and all these different, perhaps, issues going on. And he's saying that's not true. Dylan is still Dylan. She's had a rough life, which usually when someone's had a rough life, it can sometimes cause them to have different issues going on. But then again, sometimes not either. So he's saying Dylan is just Dylan, but she's upset because it's almost like that they were throwing this narrative almost down her throat. Like, so this is the guy, right? This is the guy. So yeah, because this is the guy with bushy eyebrows and stuff like that. So my thing is this. So listen carefully here. So he's basically saying that Dylan is new to the house, that she didn't think nothing about it, that she had opened up the door because she heard all this commotion, and because she's new to the house, she didn't really want to ruffle feathers, but she opened up the door, basically yelled for them to be quiet, and then closed the door and locked it like she normally does, okay? That she wasn't in this frozen state, as they're putting in the affidavit, that basically she just thought that Bryan Kohberger walking by, was because she would have heard then that noise to me from Zaina's room and where Ethan was at, because it wouldn't make sense that she would hear it from upstairs. Maybe she thought it was coming from upstairs, but really, Madison and Kaylee were first, and then it was Zaina and Ethan. So it must have been one of those things where Bryan Kohberger is coming downstairs, and remember about the food, the one from the DoorDash, Jack in the Box. And so she's still awake, remember, Zaina and that. So Zaina or Ethan probably have seen Bryan Kohberger, which forces him, in a sense, to play a hand he probably didn't expect to play. Because it could seem like that the target was upstairs, and then he happened to see Zaina or Ethan. That wasn't a planned part of what was going to happen that night, but then it turned into that. Hence, again, he hears someone yelling, perhaps, and who knows exactly why that sheath was left there. Obviously something was going on, which in hindsight, I'm sure he was kicking himself, and I still feel like that's why he went back the next day. But so imagine that So after Bryan Kohberger is coming from Zaina and Ethan's, and she opens up the door because of all the noise that she hears going on, and then she just thinks it's a friend that's leaving out of the kitchen door. It's 4 o'clock or whatever in the morning. So she's probably groggy. Yes, she's already opened up the door because she about the dog and whatever. But she's probably tired and groggy, perhaps drunk. And her, you know how you get slower? Typically you're tired, drunk perhaps. Your mindset is a lot slower. So she's probably hearing this noise, which is coming off, and she just thinks it's maybe them, like I said, rustling around, causing a bunch of noise, opens up the door. All of a sudden, Bryan Kohberger walks by. She sees the bushy eyebrows, and of course, and she just thinks it's a friend. She closes her door and locks it as normal and goes back to bed, not thinking anything about that a heinous crime just happened in the house. That, to me, finally makes sense. It makes way more sense than somebody that froze, didn't call the police till 12 o'clock or the LE. That, everyone, we're all trying to figure out, like, why is this happening? And of course, so now, according to the source, so now, of course, Dylan would feel thrown underneath the bus, because now it's almost like people are questioning, like, why, like, what did she have? Like, PTSD, she froze, all this stuff. Did she hide underneath the bed? What would have caused this? It doesn't make sense to the ear. When I finally listened to, on the Drunk Turkey Show, this source that is, like I said, the girlfriend's boyfriend is the one speaking here. And he's going through about what happened, in a sense, that night, trying to clear it up. And saying that, that's why that a lawyer was hired, because Dylan was feeling pressured by the LE to basically tell a story which wasn't accurate to what she remembered. So does this make sense to you guys? Because this makes a heck of a lot more sense to me now, listening to that. Should that be truthful? And I'm sure, again, it's third party in a sense, but still, it makes sense at least. It makes sense that Dylan opened up the door, yelled for her to be quiet, sees this guy that she thinks is in the house and just leaving, closes her door, locks it like she normally does, and then goes back to bed, and then wakes up at a certain point. So, even if messages went out at 10 o'clock to other people and stuff like that, again, that still can make sense totally in there. And at least it makes sense to the ear a lot more than reading that affidavit. So you guys, do me a favor again, go watch the Drunk Turkey Show episode and listen to Daniel as he's playing it and discussing it. Also, the Drunk Turkey Show will be on at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And It's a Crime and Shame will go live at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. It will be 9:30 Central Time and 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, tonight's show, you guys, is going to be very interesting on It's a Crime and Shame. We're going to be going over the cases that happened before Kegan Kline was arrested and the ones that happened after in the CSAM. Everything to do with that CSAM, the biggest ring in all of Indiana. So Ivy Rose will be joining us tonight. And again, and thank you to Alexa for sending me that Bryan Kohberger letter from News Nation, because that's what I seen too when I first woke up. And yeah, you guys have a great day. We'll see you tonight. Again, Drunk Turkey Show. Then ours will follow after. And you guys take care and have a great night.